Hi, Year 7. This lesson we're looking at latitude and longitude, and a goal is hopefully to learn how to use longitude and latitude. By the end of the lesson, I want you to explain what longitude and latitude is. Use a world map and give locations using latitude and longitude, and then revise the different continents. So let's start first of all with that first dot point, and let's see if we can explain what latitude and longitude is. Well, here we are. We have a world map, and what's a little bit different about these maps is the number of lines. Now we've got lines going up and down, left and right. These lines are imaginary, and these are called latitude and longitude. Latitude lines are slightly different from longitude because latitude actually has something physical that we measure latitude by, and that's the center of the earth with sunlight. So the equator, which I'm now highlighting in red, sorry, just 1 minute, here is the part of the world that gets the most sunlight. Okay, and we use that as 0 degrees. So this is the sort of center line of the earth, and look at all the different continents it goes through: South America, Africa and Asia, and that tells us how far north and south of the equator you are. So that is our latitude. Okay, now obviously the equator gets the most part of the sun. We don't have seasons. It's where we get most sunlight. So that's pretty straightforward and easy. So what we do, we give our answers in degrees because we're obviously a sphere, we're not flat, so that's why we use degrees. So we look at how many degrees north and south you are from the equator, and that's what latitude is. Swapping colours now, because now I'm going to look at longitude. The problem with longitude is that there's nothing physical to measure longitude by. So longitude as well as latitude are imaginary lines. They don't physically exist. It's a mathematical theory that we've put together. So longitude, it's really hard to work out, and it's only been the last sort of 250 years that people have come up with this idea of what longitude is. Latitude is pretty easy because, like I said, people have got the sun, they know exactly where the equator is. That's not the problem, and it all comes around by sailors who used to use the sun to navigate. So an idea had to come forward about what latitude was. So there was a big competition, and the winner was from London and Greenwich, which is here. I'm just showing you now that little green dot, and that's where Greenwich is, and that's where the 0 line of latitude is. Now the 0 line of latitude has a few names. We've got 0 degrees for longitude. It's also called the Greenwich meridian. Now meridian is just a line that goes down, as I'm showing you here. So it's called the Greenwich meridian. It's also called the prime meridian too. So there's a couple of names. If you see that, it's the same thing. So our longitude runs downwards, and we measure east to west of that 0 line of longitude. Okay, so people get that a little bit confused. It runs down, and we look at how far east and west you are of that line. The equator runs across, and we look to see how far north and south you are of the equator. Okay, a little bit hard to confuse, but we're okay. So if we look at say the United States, and if I was roughly giving the middle, so let's say we're looking at this line here, the latitude is 45 degrees north of the equator, and it is 105 degrees west of the Greenwich meridian. So remember, we talk about latitude, north and south in degrees, longitude going down is east and west. So just remember that. So the Greenwich meridian, we separate the west and east, and then our equator is our north and south. So Australia, you can't see, it's just down here. We're obviously in the eastern and southern hemisphere. So if we're giving a location for Australia, it'd be at roughly 130 degrees south, 135 degrees east, something roughly like that. Okay. So just remember, latitude lines around the Earth, as you can see. Longitude, the LO, lines over the top, as you can see here, over the top. All right, so that's just a little way to remind you, okay? And finally, flatitude. The lines are flat when it's latitude. So just remember that. That's just a few things to remember. I hope that makes sense. This is what I want you to do now. There is going to be a world map that I'm going to put on Google Classroom, and there's some questions there. I want you to use the world map to answer those questions. You can write your answers in your book, and what I'll do, by the end of the day, I'll post those answers so you've got them and you can see if you're on the right lines. I hope that helps you. Again, if there's any problems, let me know and I can try and help you. All right. Big shout out to you guys. You're doing amazing. Some of the posters that you posted on Google Classroom are fantastic. So well done. Keep up the good work. I've given people commendations for submitting work. Again, if we submit work again, I'll be straight on Compass giving you some accommodations. All right, thanks guys. Remember to like and subscribe to my video. That would be tremendous. All right, thanks guys. See you soon. Bye.